Hey you guys, it's me LV, and this is Lena, and we are back here on LVU with
Episode 12.
You heard her.
It's so
Episode
exciting. We
12.
have so much fun here today.
Yes, we are here with an awesome filmmaker, Matthew. Now, Matthew, where are you from and what made you an awesome filmmaker?
Well, originally I'm from Houston, Texas. I was born and raised there, spent most of my life there. Went to college there. I have a Bachelor of Architecture from the University of Houston. So I did that and I practiced there for several years. And then I decided that filmmaking, storytelling was kind of my passion. So I decided to pack up and leave and move to Florida. And I spent the next couple years in Orlando going to film school. Then once I finished that, I realized I had a kind of a more of a passion for specifically writing, screenwriting in general. And so I decided to move back to Texas, to come to Austin, where, you know, the hub of creativity here in Texas, you know, a bunch of artists. Just want to be a part of that group, part of the vibe here. And I've been here for maybe about 8 years now.
Do you storyboard then?
I do. I'm actually right now, I've been asked by a friend slash filmmaker to help him do some storyboards for his little animated film he's doing, his little short animated film he's doing. So I do that. I do my own storyboards from time to time. I've helped on a production design before, just because the architecture background does help with the production design aspect of filmmaking. So yeah, I still draw, you know, from time to time. You know, I'm trying to get back into that. So that was really, I mean, drawing and painting as a child was kind of my first passion. It's the thing I kind of that kind of drove me to want to be an artist.
When did you decide to change, like from architecture to film?
The recession actually was a pretty good thing. In 2008, the recession hit, and I was working in an architecture firm in Houston, and you know, work just started to kind of go down a little bit. There was a lot of layoffs. Unfortunately, I was one of those layoffs that happened. And then I spent a couple of years just trying to, I mean, quite honestly, just kind of find myself. It was hard to find work, but you know, like I had studied filmmaking when I was in college in architecture. During my last several years, what I would do is I would go on to like film schools websites like Columbia, NYU, and this is before, you know, a lot of security happened, but like you were able to look up course schedules and course materials online. So I would go to NYU and Columbia and look up their reading, and then I would go to Amazon and buy those books. So I did that, and I actually took a film class in my last year of college with a guy who attended NYU. He has like a little film camp in Houston, so I did a short film with him, and I got really close with him. He taught me a lot, and I apprenticed with him for like a year. And then, like, you know, then life happens. I finished architecture school and did what I thought I was supposed to do. You know, you go out and get a job, and get a good job, get a new car, move it to a nice place, and I did all that. But like I said, the recession is kind of what really kind of made me look at my life and look at my dreams, look at my goals and what I really want to do in life. It kind of put things into perspective a little bit, you know. It made me kind of question like what I really want to do in this world, what do I want to make my life about, and what I feel like I was here for. And I've always felt like I was a storyteller deep down. So.
Well, where can we find more of your work?
You can find most of my writing is on my webpage, MatthewSLNeast.com. I'm fairly new to like the whole social media game, but I am on Instagram, Facebook. Let's see what else is there. Twitter, you know, but like I said, most of my work is online.
Well, thank you. We'll definitely be back with more. Just keep watching. Bye.
What's up, everybody? And more smoke! Playback!
You know when it's right. You know when you feel it, baby. You hold it, you hear it, you taste it, it's right. Got it, You got the right one, baby. If it's irresistibly simple, hypothetically. I'm sorry, what was that last line again? If it's irresistibly, hypothetically, analogically.
Henry.
Hey you guys, it's me LV, and this is Lena, and we're now here on LVU with this awesome guy. He is amazing. No, if you don't know him, man, you're missing out. It's Charlie. You know, he's a comedian. He is just fantastic. Now, Charlie, tell me, where are you from and what made you amazing?
My mother made me amazing, first off. But I'm from Chicago originally, but I lived all over the country.
Okay.
So I just moved here from Arizona. Been here about a year now.
Oh my gosh,
Arizona.
I lived in Mesa.
Mesa?
Mesa, right outside of Phoenix.
Yeah, it's hot. Hell is like 2
Oh,
blocks
no,
away from
no.
there.
You can cook some breakfast outside. You just lay it right there on the driveway. You come back in like 30 minutes? Man, your breakfast is served.
So you started comedy when?
I've only actually been doing it 2 years.
Oh, what were you doing before?
Yeah. I wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah.
Rapper. And
Yeah.
I bet you were good too.
Yeah, we got more bars than the soap aisle. I'm
Oh,
telling
there
you.
you
Yeah.
go.
Do you have any cool raps?
Yeah, I got a lot. I started out with gospel rap.
Oh, wow.
God. Gospel.
Then I moved from that to
That's
regular
all
rap.
you had to say? I love it. Gospel rap.
That's really interesting. So you went from rap to comedy, and what made you switch over?
I actually was pushed into comedy. I didn't want to do it. Everyone keeps saying you missed your call and you should have been a comedian. I say I'm funny, conversational, but I can't write a joke. And then one day I'm like, forget it. Let me try to write a joke. So I tried it, and I went to a open mic. It was like 5 of my friends came from work, and they liked it. So after that, I entered a competition, won first place. It was like 8 comedians. They invited me to come back to another competition on Friday, won first place for that one. And there was 17 comedians there. And then I was just booked for shows after that.
Wow. So you're just naturally
You
gifted.
just naturally flew right into it.
Yeah, I didn't take the road most comedians take, which is you go to a bunch of open mics, and then you go from shows to there. I went competition, shows. I've probably done about 5 or 6 open mics my whole entire career. And I never force my jokes. I don't even write a set, like sit there and think about it. I have a regular conversation. Ooh, that's funny. Let me write that down on my notepad and come back to it later. And I get about 7, 8, 10 of those, and I put them together in a story form.
Where can we find your work?
You can find me on YouTube under Charlie Mack, Instagram Funny Charlie Mack, and just Charlie Mack on Facebook, or funnycharliemack.com.
I guess we'll be back. And I definitely want to hear more. And just keep watching, you guys, here on LView. Just keep following, keep liking, keep loving. Alrighty. Bye. Lena, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, LV. Check out my new t-shirt.
New t-shirt?
Oh my
What?
gosh. Yes, look. It's by Austin t-shirt.
T-shirt, wow.
Oh, I love it. Woohoo. Do you like it? Like it?
What?
Oh
My
God.
shirt? My
Feel
shirt
it,
has a
feel
hole.
it, Feel it. Feel it.
But my shirt has a hole, though.
It's $20. It's
$20?
Yeah. You like it? You like it?
Yeah, but my shirt has a hole. I want a new t-shirt.
Yeah, I think you should get a new t-shirt.
Well, check this out. Check me out now. Yo, new t-shirt, new label, I'm all cool, you know, of course, LV like always.
But there's one thing.
What?
That is not for sale.
No. Hey! Hey, you guys, it's me, LV, and this is Lena, and we're now here with Caroline.
Hey.
Now, Caroline, where are you from and how did you become a puppeteer?
So I'm originally from California, grew up there, but have moved all over as an adult. I spent some time in Paris, France, which is actually where I figured out that puppetry was a career. And then bopped back over to New York City for a while and realized it was a very expensive place to be a puppeteer, and down to Baltimore, DC area, and then ended up in Austin in 2010, which has kind of ended up being the perfect place for like and there's enough of a world here for puppetry and like horror films and music videos and children's programming, but then like I still get to create my own work. I mean, the official story of when I became a puppeteer was in Paris with my Australian friend Tony, who we'd been working together on like movement theater forms, and he handed me some puppets and said, no, you're a puppeteer, trust me. And that was sort of the moment I realized, oh, I've always been a puppeteer, but because I think often in the United States, the only way you really see it represented is like the, Jim Henson and the Muppets that I grew up watching as a kid and loving, but it didn't connect to me that was a career in any way, because the style of puppetry I do is maybe a little bit less traditional in that way. So I guess officially it was Tony in Paris who kind of introduced me to it. But the reality is, once, I think this is probably true for most puppeteers, you realize you've literally always been a puppeteer. Like you've always been manipulating things and like creating stories and animating things to make them alive. My mom, her father died of, her father's family, he was orphaned by the Spanish flu in 1919, right? Like kind of telling for right now. So she never knew her extended family, and we spent our summers as little kids, like everybody piling in the car from California and driving across the country to go look, and she'd like throw us out of the car in graveyards in like our ancestral homeland and be like, go find the names on the graves, like we're looking for Albert Miller, and find him. And if we found Albert Miller, it meant, okay, he died in that town. We could check him off the list, and then we could go get chocolate milkshakes at McDonald's. We were only allowed to take like a little kid's backpack worth of stuff with us. I had this stuffed koala I couldn't live without, and it was the only thing that would fit in the bag. So I would only bring this, that's all I had to play with for a month in a car, was this like stuffed animal. So I would make up little stories and puppeteer this little thing, like when I'm like 6 years old in the car. And then one summer I got a backpack that also had like an outside pocket. So it was like, I can get a little more in there. The only thing that fit was this like children's Garden of Bible Verses book that was like this big that my grandmother had given me. So the combination of Bible stories plus this koala meant that the whole summer everybody like was listening to me reinterpreting Bible stories with this koala.
What's your style?
It's funny because some puppeteers really pick a particular genre, like marionettes or shadow puppets, and really focus on telling stories through that genre. And I've always been drawn, I'm a big storyteller at heart, so I tend to look at the story we're trying to tell and say, okay, these are the genres of puppetry that will tell that story. Because so much of the work I do outside of kind of commercial work is just creating our own theatrical pieces in collaboration with other puppeteers. So I have worked in many different forms. Some of the more traditional forms are called tabletop puppetry, which is like 3 different puppeteers working one puppet together. So it's very much about the physicality of the body, if it's an animal or a human or a monster or whatever it might be. Super precise physicality. Different than like a hand puppet where it's all about the mouth and making the mouth talk. I've also done a lot of shadow puppetry, which is really, it's like cutting out a 2-dimensional image, and then you put the puppet between the light source and the screen, so it's just the reflection, the shadow on the screen that tells the story.
That's so cool.
And then for like our much more non-traditional stuff, I'm a big fan of making puppets out of trash and recycled materials. We tell a lot of environmental stories that way. We created kind of this form, I'm sure it's been done before, but we were really working on this idea of what we called environmental puppetry, where we made very, very small puppets on huge landscapes, and we would puppeteer the landscapes around the puppets. That particular show was to show the effects of climate change on cultures around the world.
Where can we find more of your work?
So we post a lot of photography and some video to Instagram. So we are Glass Half Full Theater. I'm actually wearing the shirt. Glass Half Full Theater. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, Twitter, though we don't use it very often. And we have a website, glasshalffulltheater.com, which has all of our work, plus Glass Half Full Theater on YouTube, Glass Half Full Theater on Vimeo. So that's really the best, I think, is to go get some of the snippets of video. Really gives you a sense of the work we're doing.
Just keep watching, you guys. We'll be back with more. Just keep watching, keep liking, keep following here on LV. Bye.